Tonight, the world continues to remember former President Jimmy Carter and the difference he made during his political career and after. I want to get you right out to my co-anchor, Jonathan Martin, who is live for us from the Carter Center tonight. Jonathan, people have been paying their respects over the last couple of days. What have you seen today?
You know, Angelina, it's hard not to notice just the sheer diversity of people who are showing up here outside the Carter Center, people bringing by all types of things, gifts, candles. As I mentioned earlier, yesterday, we were seeing some of the things like peanuts and peaches, really a testament to Mr. Carter and the legacy he leaves. People not just showing their support here in Atlanta, but really beyond in Americus, Georgia, in his hometown of Plains and across the nation's capital. And we've been talking for the last couple days about worldwide impact. Listen to this. We learned online on a tribute page for Mr. Carter, some 127 countries, 12,000 people from 127 countries have been offering their condolences. That is what you call worldwide reach and impact. I know a lot of you have been asking how you will be able to pay your respects, how you will be able to be a part of some of the services. So tonight we have live team coverage for you, giving you every detail of everything that's going on from here in Atlanta to Washington, D.C., and again back here in Plains, Georgia. We're going to start with 11 Alive Savannah Levens in Americus, which is about a 20-minute drive from Plains. Savannah, I know you've been speaking with the CEO of the hospital there at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. What are you learning today?
Well, we know that everything will kick off 10:15 Saturday morning when the president's casket will be brought out of the hospital doors right behind me here. His current and former Secret Service detail serving as pallbearers, and that will mark the official start of the funeral procession. With a world of options at his fingertips, President Jimmy Carter chose over and over again to receive his medical care near his childhood home in the small town of Americus at Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. CEO Carlisle Walton says even with Secret Service pressure and private backdoor entrances, the president was never one to demand a low profile.
He was never the traditional politician. He was just Jimmy Carter, the person. And he just wanted to say hi, and people would chat with him, and the doctors are saying, okay, we need to examine you, sir, and get you taken care of.
Phoebe Sumter is where the president first entered hospice care and where Mrs. Carter's funeral procession began too.
One of the legendary stories is that Miss Roslyn always wanted to be with him when he was in the hospital, because they said whenever it was not required, we never slept apart. One of the singular honors of my life will be that, one day he asked me to pray with him when he was here in the hospital.
Mr. and Mrs. Carter were not only patients, but also longtime donors to and advocates of the hospital. When a tornado decimated the facility in 2007, the Carters helped rebuild it into the campus it is today, and their support never wavered.
When he was diagnosed with cancer, for example, the local folks started a fundraising campaign to support the treatment that he needed, and he directed some of those funds that were raised towards the Phoebe Cancer Center because he wanted local health care to be available for those who needed it.
Tell me about what it's like being the temporary resting place for President Carter now.
Can think of no greater honor.
What do you think President Carter's legacy is? How would you summarize it?
For me, a life well lived, an inspiration. And if I can just, in my life, capture a microcosm of the difference he has made around the world, then I can say that I had a life well lived too.
Mr. Walton does say that they have a private space here at the hospital for the Carter family to visit the president here this week before everything starts on Saturday. He is also being guarded 24/7 by his Secret Service detail by his side until the very end. Live in Americus, Savannah Levens, 11 Alive News.
Great to hear that he kept that same Jimmy Carter spirit, as we have heard from so many people, and even in his final and toughest days. Savannah, thank you so much. Well, as Savannah mentioned, Saturday really will be the big day, especially for people here in Metro Atlanta, as we know that the president will be arriving here at the Carter Center around 3 or 4 o'clock for an arrival ceremony. He'll lie in repose here for several days, but before that, right before that, he'll be making a stop at the state capitol here in downtown Atlanta. That's where 11 Alive's Rebecca Lindstrom is for us tonight with more details. Rebecca.
We believe there'll be two key opportunities for people here in Atlanta to pay their respects. The first of them here at the Capitol. As he makes his way from the family farm, he will be passing by the Capitol, where there will be a moment of silence. And that's really fitting because before he was our president, he was Georgia's governor. At 3 p.m., Governor Kemp is expected to lead that moment of silence along with the lieutenant governor, lawmakers, and the mayor of Atlanta. And we're still working on getting details related to road closures and where the public can stand to participate. But we do know that as soon as he leaves here, he will be headed to the Carter Center. Upon his arrival there, though, there will be a private ceremony and service. So the public's next opportunity to pay their respects won't be until about 7 o'clock on Saturday night. That is when his body will lie in repose. There is no parking at the Carter Center. That is why MARTA says it is going to run its trains with a bus shuttle directly from the Carter Center, or directly to the Carter Center from the King Memorial Station. And they're going to be offering that service continuously for the next 60 hours during that time period. A few important notes: just as there is no parking at the Carter Center, there's also no parking at that King Memorial Station. So you're going to need to ride the train from another spot that does have parking in order to access that shuttle. The King Memorial Station is on the green and blue lines, and if you're traveling on the red or yellow lines, you can transfer over at 5 points. Once at the Carter Center, you will have to go through security, so they are asking people to only come with really what they need and to be prepared for long lines. I am told that there are going to be other places as Mr. Carter is moved from Atlanta to, the airport to head to Washington, D.C. So places along that motorcade route that will be open for the public to stand and show their respect. But they are saying that out of security reasons, they are only going to be releasing those details the day before each of those events. So just know we are asking the questions, we are gathering the information, and we will be bringing it to you, what you need to know so that you can get involved. Live in downtown Atlanta at the Capitol, Rebecca Lindstrom, 11 Alive News.
All right, Rebecca, thanks so much. We are getting new information every day, and we will bring the latest to you. Now let's turn things over to 11 Alive's Julie Smith. The motorcade and potential traffic impacts we'll likely see this weekend.
That's right. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, I wanted to just point out the areas where we will definitely see congested traffic. Word has not been shared yet on exactly which streets will be shut down. But again, we know it will be congested. So when they first stop at 3 p.m. at the Georgia State Capitol, of course, MLK Jr., Capitol Avenue, Mitchell Street, Washington Street, Central Avenue, just to name a few, those will all see heavier than normal traffic at that time. Then to pull out for a little perspective here and moving a little bit northeast of that at 3:45, they're due to arrive at the Carter Center. That's at 453 John Lewis Freedom Parkway. So Freedom Parkway, North Avenue, Ralph McGill Boulevard, North Highland, and Moreland Avenue definitely will be very, very congested. But not just those, probably even further out those surrounding areas at that time. Just keep that in mind as you plan your routes on that day.
Julie Smith for us, thanks so much. And tonight we are hearing from members of the Carter family, including Mr. Carter's grandson, Jason. He talked about a tradition that the family often had this time of year.
One of the great gifts that my grandparents gave to us is they hosted essentially a Carter family trip for about 40 years. And we always had it over New Year's. So some of my best memories of them are celebrating on this day. And so this was sort of one of his last gifts to us, is that the entire family is all going to get together this week again and be there with each other and to, of course, celebrate this remarkable life that he had.
And Jason Carter also went on to say that his grandfather also taught him a lot about politics, but the most important thing he said is about staying true to himself, staying true to your principles and belief. Again, Jason Carter there, the grandson. Now, coming up in our next half hour, we will have much more live coverage, including here from the Carter Center, and also we'll go live to Plains, Georgia, and focus more on the president's impact there in his hometown. Back to you, Angelina.
Nice to hear from the Carter family today, Jonathan. Thank you. Right now on 11 Alive Plus, we do have more on how the former president is being remembered. You can download the 11 Alive app for free to your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV as well.